quel crudel basciare che fe per noi Deo qual facciamo per amor a lui fossi io di pena
Alright, hello and welcome everyone to another exciting cast in Alchemy League Season 6. I am your host, TechChariot. Alchemy League Season 6 has an open map contest, so the maps don't necessarily have any thematic cohesion, but that also leaves them a little bit more freedom to be kind of on the wild side. As always, we have two Play All 2 sets to cast. They are 1v1s. The first set, we're going to start off actually in round 2 of Season 6, and we're going to bring you Ragnar versus Superhero. And then moving up in ELO, we're going to bring you Toady versus John Chilleroo. Let me show you where these players are in terms of skill level, as calculated by our proprietary computer program. So Superhero 55 and Ragnar, we're looking at upper 1400s to about mid 1500s for these players. Superhero 55 is from Pakistan, and Ragnar is from, I believe, Colombia, someplace in South America. In the second set, we'll see John Chilleroo, who is a 2K player from Chile, against Toady, who is a 2K player from the United Kingdom. In terms of map drafts, we'll do these separately as we go over each of the sets. The map of the round for round 2 in Alchemy League season, this should say season 6, but the map of the round for round 2 is Gugong, and then they took turns discarding maps until only one remained, and that one is Shattered Plains. For civilization drafts, the admin randomly bans 5 civilizations at the start. Then they globally ban 2 civilizations as well, leading to a total of 9 initial bans. And then they take turns picking civilizations, each with the option to snipe 1 civilization after 2 picks from their opponent. So we can see that Ragnar will have the choice of Mongols, Persians, and Burmese, while Superhero 55 will have the choice of Portuguese, Bengalis, and Burgundians. So a lot of arena-style civilizations, which makes a lot of sense because they're basically playing on 2 different versions of arena here. So having introduced the players, the maps, and the civilization draft for the first round, let us go and cast. Zoom into the game here. Okay, so in the red, at 7 o'clock, we have Superhero 55 playing as the Bengalis. And oh wow, these players are actually very close together. So in the blue, as the Burmese, we have Ragnar. So these guys are really close together. I would honestly not be surprised if we saw somebody do a siege monk push. Now this map was made by Biscuits, and one of the things that is required by Alchemy League standards is that the maps have a lot of variety. We try to bake as much variety into these maps as possible for 2 reasons. The first is that having a map with variety requires you to explore. So players will spend more time exploring and maybe less time pushing deer, so people's economies tend to not be as good, although both of these players, Ragnar and Superhero, are pushing their deer immediately. You can see that Superhero's got a deer in. So they're actually both being greedy. I don't think they realize what the map looks like. But the other reason for the variety is because if we bake variety into a map, then that could make certain civilizations better or worse depending on how the map generates. Now the map still has to generate fairly, of course, but let's say that a map has more water or less water. A pick like Vikings could be better or could be worse, and it would force players to adapt depending on the water situation. Now we're not working with water here, we're working with an arena style map, but you get the idea. So these civilizations being so close together right here might favor more aggression, whereas if the players started out further apart, then it could be more of a boom or an economic long game for them. Yugong is the Chinese word for the Forbidden City. It's what the Chinese call the Asian city that they built. This kind of looks like an Asian city, right? We got some grassy patches, some nice little park patches. But we also have some gravel and rock and road patches. So it's kind of like a little parky sort of ancient city. You know, the Asians were known for integrating gardens and nature and that sort of thing into their city planning. So it's not a surprise that we have all this kind of stuff. So we got some, looks like we got some patches of deer here and boar. Neither player are Mongols. And then we've got stone on this other side, which they could go after. And then there's a relic here with some gold, and a relic over here with some gold, and some neutral houses. These buildings are not capturable, so don't worry about that. As Ragnar's going to explore over here, he's going to find this bonus hunt. Maybe he'll send some villagers out to get it, but although I think that's unlikely. I think these players are going to try to go up to the next stage as soon as possible and attack each other as soon as possible. But you never know. Maybe these will come in to play somehow. Let's see what Superhero knows about the map. We'll trigger his Fog of War. So Superhero took his time pushing his deer in. And now he's going to go out and explore the map. And I think he's going to find his opponent is pretty close to him. So here comes Superhero. And yeah, he finds out right now. Oh, there's my opponent. So the wood lines on this one. I think I've heard people say that the wood lines are very interesting. You see, there's only 2 wood lines here. I think that this actually makes tower rushes more aggressive. And I actually think these wood lines can be forward too, if I remember correctly. So the thing about having a low number of large wood lines is it's when you have a lot of small wood lines, it's harder to cover the entire wood line or to cover all of your opponent's wood lines with towers. You need more towers. With here, you could build a tower right here and pretty much cover the whole wood line, especially if you had fletching. So you can do more damage with towers, which is what makes it fun, because it feels like on Arena, towers are not as good as they used to be. Although people can still tower rush on Arena. I really should play Arena. I kind of am yearning to play it again in ranked. Okay, so Superhero makes sense. He's Bengalis. He wants to make those unique units. He's making a mining camp on his stone, and he's on 21 pop here. I don't know about that. I think this is a little early for stone, but Superhero knows better than I do. And he has a couple of farms to enhance his economy. And it looks like he's also going to build a second lumber camp, too. Actually, he's going to build a house first. I don't know why he's building the house here, though. He should be building it up front. He knows his opponent's over here. So the thing about houses is you kind of have to build a secondary house wall. You know, because in case your original wall is breached, you can kind of have this secondary wall behind it. Helps you keep enemy units out. So this isn't going to really help him very much back here, except to give him the population space. Let's take a look at Ragnar's base. So Ragnar is not on stone yet, which I think is the better play. He is just on gold, and it looks like he's taken his sheep, and he's got 6 on berries, so he's got quite a few on berries. Superhero close to clicking up here. Is Ragnar already up? Yeah, Ragnar is actually largely up. And the Burmese get the wood chopping upgrade for free as soon as he hits the feudal age, so he's only got 3 on wood for now, and I don't know if he's going to send any more. I feel like he needs to send some more. You need 325 wood to build the market and the blacksmith. Yeah, he's just sending some more to wood now. He's just reached feudal age, and so he's going to start on the market. And then hopefully for Ragnar's sake, he's able to get about 45 more wood in. Yeah, he's sending him off to wood now so that he can rush up his blacksmith. But he's going to get Town Watch instead of building another villager. So Town Watch takes a little bit longer to research than a villager does to train. But I think he's going to be able to get his buildings up with minimal idle time here. So a little bit of an oopsie here from Ragnar. Not quite having the wood he needed to build his buildings, but that's okay. So market, blacksmith, and then probably he'll send it all over to gold, I would assume, for a monk rush. I mean, it could be wrong, but yeah. So these are all now gold miners. You actually need a surprisingly large number of villagers on wood too for a monk rush. I generally like to go 12 on wood and like 6 to 8 on gold, and that's about what he's got right here. So he is building a barracks. This will help him get a spearman out to kill Superhero Scout, because this scout is pretty dangerous. Could actually kill some monks. Now let's see what Superhero is up to. So I'm pretty convinced that Ragnar is going to go aggressive here. I think he's going to build a monastery, given the number of villagers that he has on gold. He's just building this barracks so that he can get an initial spearman out. Alright, so Superhero is building his market and his blacksmith. And he doesn't quite have the resources to click up, but we can definitely tell that Superhero wants a castle. And we've seen this a lot from Superhero. He loves unique units. He loves castles. And he just loves to play that way. So this will be a question of, can Ragnar get in and do damage on Superhero before the unique unit becomes a problem? Now let's say that Ragnar is not able to get in because Superhero is just really good at defending. And so he's got a bunch of monks standing around. That's not necessarily an L for Ragnar. We can see as this spearman comes out and he's got a couple of villagers moving forward. So as soon as Ragnar hits Castle Age, these villagers are going to throw down a siege workshop and a monastery. He's going to build the monastery first, actually, so that he can work on his monk mass. I think he should be starting on a siege workshop. I feel like he needs to get in and he needs to put pressure on Superhero. If he could get a mangonel out, he could potentially deny a castle location. Now, Superhero scouts it, so he knows. So I think this second monastery is a mistake. I would be making a siege workshop. But he does have the wood for a siege workshop, and I hope he builds that now. Yeah, there it is. So he's going to build it, and he's going to make himself some monks. These monks have a different skin to them. This game was played on the new patch, so that means that we have confusing looking units now. The monks all have regional skins. The unique units have different looks to them. In this siege workshop, he finishes that. He could build a ram. Yeah, he's going to build a ram. Ram would be the fastest way to get in, but it will not be able to deny castle as well. Alright, let's take a look at what Superhero has going on. So Superhero presumably knows that he's getting siege monk rushed. Let's check his fog of war. Yeah, he knows that there's a couple monasteries here, and he's sending some villagers forward to build a castle and put a stop to this. Oh, wait. No, he's going to take gold instead. Superhero has not decided where to put his castle yet. Okay, he's going to put it right here. So this will defend this gold, and Ragnar will not be able to get in this way. Ragnar will have to come up here, and he could actually come in this way and potentially do some damage. He could also threaten the town center. So Superhero is going to stonewall this off. Now, I feel that it's a mistake for Ragnar to continue attacking this gate, but I don't think he knows about the castle. Let's check. The monk has... Okay, yeah, so he sees it now. The monks have sufficient vision that he's able to see the castle, so he moves the ram over to attack this wall segment instead. So, Superhero, what he doesn't know is that Superhero has walled behind it, or is walling behind it, and Ragnar is not really going to get in time for that. But he is going to be able to pressure this wall, and once you've got monks standing here, you can start converting villagers and such, so it could actually be kind of messy. So these Rathas here, this would be ordinarily a very effective unit for Superhero to have to run around with, but Ragnar has monks, so he can just convert them. So that's the nice thing about going monks against somebody who's making unique unit, is you can just convert. So you just convert your opponent's unique units. Now I think he really needs a mangonel to begin pressuring the town center. We can see that Superhero is sending some Rathas here. Maybe the Rathas are on melee mode, but Ragnar is ready for them. He's got some monks. Spearmen not allowed to get close. And he's got a couple of spearmen here to discourage Superhero from making scouts. Superhero going to try to get some whacks on this monk. Now, Burmese get monk technologies half off, so this is why it's very likely that Ragnar's monks will actually have some pretty decent upgrades with them. And now Ragnar is going to destroy this mining camp. But until Ragnar gets a mangonel, I really don't think Superhero's in that much jeopardy. It looks like Ragnar not building much more siege. Just going to come in here and destroy Superhero's house. Superhero makes a monastery of his own. Is Superhero considering a... Oh, Superhero has gone atonement. Oh, that's quite the play here. I don't know that Ragnar has researched atonement. Now he might research it. But that is kind of a shock for Ragnar. I don't think he was expecting Superhero to go atonement. And now he's probably going to figure it out because Superhero has 2 monasteries, so he's presumably able to see what's going on here. And yeah, see, this is the disadvantage of rams, is that they go to dive the town center, and like every villager in the entire economy comes out and starts chasing them away. And so actually, in an uncharacteristic display of aggression, Superhero sends his entire town to attack Ragnar. Now, I don't know how effective these villagers are going to be at shanking down the monk. Oh, there goes one. There goes a monk. This has actually been a pretty good game so far. But if Ragnar's not careful, if he doesn't click right, he could accidentally lose all of his faith. So he's trying to prioritize converting the Rathas, because the Rathas will be more effective at fighting the villagers. And this is just a mess. I think that Superhero's managed to kill most of Ragnar's monks. I guess there's 3 left, but Ragnar's gotten a bunch of Ratha conversions out of that. So I don't really know that it was worth it for Superhero to charge in with both the Rathas and the villagers. He probably should have just charged in with the villagers, but I think Ragnar's going to be pretty happy with this. He's killed probably 4 or 5 villagers with these Rathas, and he's building a new siege workshop. And I think he needs to convert the Rathas to ranged mode and just use them as cavalry archers to raid, perhaps. Oh no, he deletes them. He deletes them so that Superhero cannot have them back. Now, Superhero has converted some of Ragnar's monks, and Ragnar's going to have to get atonement himself. Otherwise, Superhero is going to have a pretty big monk horde. Let's take a look at villager count. So Ragnar has 28 villagers, and Superhero has 34. So actually, Superhero's villager count is higher than Ragnar's. But Superhero does not have map control. I mean, he's missing out on about a quarter of his base. But what is inexplicable to me is the fact that Ragnar has not gotten atonement yet. Like, come on, man. You're just giving all your monks away to Superhero. Like, Superhero now has 7 monks, and you know how many of them he made? He probably made like 2. So Superhero has rebuilt this wall, and I think that Ragnar's aggression is over. So I don't really know what else where else Ragnar goes from here. He has not picked up all of the relics. As Burmese sees where the relics are, there's a couple more relics that he could pick up, but he hasn't gotten them yet. There is an opportunity to get them, so he's just going to build an outpost here. And, okay, so Ragnar's going to go up to the Imperial Age. That's good. That's fine. He just needs a plan for siege, and I think we know what his plan is. He is transitioned onto stone. So Ragnar is going to build a castle. And he's going to try to pick off as many monks as he can, too. But these monks are all healing this one monk faster than it can be destroyed by the Scout Cav. And Superhero converting the Scout Cav. So now Superhero is on the offensive. And it's true, Ragnar does have 2 relics. But Superhero has the army. So Ragnar building a stable so that he can make some cavalry, I guess, to clear up the monks that Superhero converted from him. Instead of getting Atonement, I think Atonement would have been the better play. Like, Superhero was on the back foot. Toggle the Fog of War here. Yeah, like, Superhero had, I guess he had 2 golds here. Ragnar denied a stone. To be fair, like, Superhero has given up making the Rathas, so that's a good win for Ragnar, I suppose. Maybe he feels like he doesn't need to go monk anymore because his opponent's no longer going unique unit. Although Ragnar is still making some monks, but he has not gotten Atonement yet, as far as I can tell. The Superhero being annoying, converting Ragnar's gold miners. Ragnar gonna send them over here to help out with the stone collection. A Superhero could pretty much surround this entire base with monks and just get conversions in, and Ragnar has to pull back. Just has to keep falling back. He could build another lumber camp right here. I'm really enjoying this map by Biscuits. I'm glad that we were able to include it in the event. I think it's a fun map. Yeah, look at this. So there's a light cavalry here. These stone mining villagers are forced to evacuate, but that's not that big of a deal because, well, he was done mining the stone anyway. He just needed 1 castle. So here come the monks from Ragnar. Ragnar going to send a monk forward to convert this armored elephant. I don't know if you need redemption to convert the armored elephants or what the deal is, but this armored elephant wants to destroy this monastery and pop the relic out. And Ragnar needs to pay attention because it looks like this elephant is going to accomplish that. Superhero going to steal the relic. Ragnar tried to convert the elephant, so Superhero with the better micro, pulling the elephant back into range of the castle so that Ragnar gives up. And now Superhero is going to attack the other monastery, so he's going to go for the relics. So Ragnar has a trebuchet on the way, and he doesn't have a lot of resources right now because he had to retask his villagers. And he's got 3 light calves. So Ragnar going to try again to convert this elephant. See if Superhero reacts and pulls the elephant back. He does. So Ragnar reacts and pulls the monk back. And then Superhero will probably send the elephant back. Alright, so Trebuchet rolling forward for Ragnar. It'll probably get started on this castle. Yeah. And, hey, Ivan Dimitrov, can you click on the left flag so we can see the technology? Sure. I think. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Superhero is on his way up to the Imperial Age. This monastery has gone down, so Ragnar's last relic is lost. But Ragnar never really having the monk momentum here. He wanted to tech switch into light calves. But the light calves are not... I feel like it's not worth it. We haven't, to be fair, we haven't seen what the light calves can do yet. He hasn't really used them yet. But I think he would have been better off going Atonement and just doing the monk battle. Okay, so Superhero getting this relic. I think he's going to have 2 relics. Let's count how many relics Superhero has. So he's going to have 2 relics. He's come out here for this relic, and he hasn't sent anything out here for this relic. But if he gets this last relic, and he brings in this one, he'll have all 4 relics that were on the map, I believe. Nope. No, there's more. There's 6 relics on this map. So, no, the relic victory is further away than expected. So Superhero reaches Imperial Age. He's going to get block printing. He's going to make a trebuchet. He's really embraced the monks to a greater extent than Ragnar, even though Ragnar started out monk rushing him. I think it was just motivated by a fear of the Rathas. Okay, trebuchet out for Superhero. Another trebuchet has been created for Ragnar, and so they are now having a trebuchet duel to see who can destroy their opponent's castle faster. Now we're going to need some repairs here for Ragnar if he wants to keep his trebuchet. Oh, no, there goes the trebuchet. So Superhero has villagers repairing the castle. He's almost out of stone, so he can't repair it anymore. But this has been a pretty brutal battle so far. Yeah, Ragnar has sent a villager out to repair the trebuchet. But the villager was killed by this Ratha. And the Rathas then went in to try to kill the trebuchet, but Ragnar's light cav fought it off. This trebuchet goes down, which Ragnar did not really need. Ragnar is strapped for resources. He's refreshed his lumber camp here, actually. So his economy has at least been maintained. It's still working. Superheroes bought some more stone to repair the castle some more, and the trebuchet goes down. Now I think Superhero has a critical mass of monks, trebuchets, and Rathas that I don't know what Ragnar can do about it. Especially if he makes just a few spearmen to keep these light cavalry away. He's trying to get some conversions here. Ragnar running off. Superhero actually deleting sections of his wall to help himself get out. Alright, he does get a light cav. He gets light cav conversions. That's decent micro. And he's just going to take the fight here and clear out the light cav. Meanwhile, Ragnar continuing to make light cav. But he's down to 4. He's about to have 5, but I think Superhero's got enough here to make the counterattack and push back on Ragnar. Game is already won here. I agree. I think Ragnar's win condition was to beat Superhero in Castle Age. So Ragnar has lost his castle, so he can't make any more trebuchets. And I think, yeah, here they come. The Ratha are in Ragnar's base. And they're going to be able to come and go as they please as soon as this gate goes down. Ragnar adding another monastery. I think he plans to make more monks. The monks are good against a unique unit, but there's just not enough of them. There's not enough of them, and he just let them be converted. He didn't get atonement. Oh, he did actually. He did get atonement, but we never really saw him using it. What are the elos of these two guys? So we're talking about upper 1400s to mid 1500s. Alright, and Ragnar calls the GG. He's out of stuff. Fun game, single TC, all in, love to see it. I don't... Yeah, Superhero never got more than 3 relics, but that's okay. Alright, so let's see. Superhero with 13 conversions. Responding to the monk... Even though Ragnar was the one that opened monks, Superhero got more conversions, which is pretty telling. More buildings converted, more units killed, fewer units lost. Economy, Ragnar with the bigger economy, but Superhero took more gold and stone. Ragnar with better age-up times across the board. More map explored, better research. And Society Superhero with more villagers and 3 relics. Each player built 1 castle. It doesn't work. My PC is not strong enough to run Capture Age, unfortunately. So now we'll return to the replays and cast their second game, which is on Shattered Plains. So Shattered Plains is a map made for Alchemy League Season 6 by Welcome to Rapture. He is part of Clown Legion, I believe, or True Clown Legion. He's one of those clown guys. These guys love Arena. So Welcome to Rapture made a map that kind of looks like Arena, kind of looks like Fortress. It's got these, kind of these broken mounds in the center. It looks almost like a shattered plane. And Superhero 55 is in the red, and he is around 6 o'clock, and he is playing as the, Burgundians, I believe? Yeah, Burgundians. And Ragnar is playing as the Mongols. So, decent map for it. I think you get some decent hunting options. Ragnar wants some revenge from the last game. Got a couple of, I think that they redid the deer graphic too. Looks like the deer is a little bit more fluid this time. So let's talk about this map a little bit. I think that this map is pretty unforgiving to a castle drop. You don't have a lot in terms of neutral stone. Like there is neutral stone on the map. There's kind of this cracked terrain in the center. This area has been hit by a natural disaster, I think. And that's why it looks very barren and desolate. There are some box turtles and kind of like swampy areas in the center. There's some fruit bushes, and there's some stone and gold. And you have a little bit of stone in your base, but if that ever got denied by, let's say, a castle drop, then you would be off stone pretty much permanently. And that would significantly reduce your options for repelling forward castles. So Superhero is doing that little villager clicking trick, and he figures out that this forest has a hole in it, so he's going to plug that up. That's a good find from Superhero. Doesn't want his opponent sneaking in here and killing a bunch of things. So let's talk about this civilization matchup. I think that this is a pretty decent civilization matchup for Superhero, actually. I think Mongols are, of course, pretty scary. And Burgundians are maybe not as scary, but the thing about Burgundians is that they have they don't have the best cavalry in the game. But I think that Burgundian cavalry has an earlier power curve, if you will. They get Cavaliers in Castle Age, and their upgrades for cavalry are half price. You think it's an easy win for the Mongols, huh? Well, I suppose it depends on what they do. But I can see a situation where Superhero goes like early cavalry. And he's able to pressure the Mongols before they can get to their late game death ball. Now, if Ragnar Superhero, nope, Superhero, pay attention. Oh, dang. Well, that's unfortunate for Superhero. It gives Ragnar an advantage. I'm sure Ragnar would be pretty excited if he knew about that. Superhero losing a villager to the boar or to the rhinoceros. FC into Mangadai, and player 2 is dead. Well, fast castle into Mangadai could be threatening. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, maybe Ragnar's looking at it in the same way that you are, Ivan. Or maybe he tries something different. We'll just have to see. Now, he hasn't found his other goats yet, which is unfortunate. Where actually is Ragnar's scout? Oh, he's looking in the wrong spot. He's looking up here. Let's check his fog of war. Yeah, he hasn't found him yet. They're down here. Ivan, are you new to the stream? Have you seen any content from Alchemy League before? I can explain if you want. Well, the game is a little bit quieter. Alchemy League has gone to all kinds of places. We've gone to Greece, we've gone to Alaska, and we've gone to space. We basically we try to do thematic map pools Player 2 has no safe wood line. What? What are you talking about? He's got these wood lines back here. Maybe I just wasn't showing them before. Or maybe you mean that that Ragnar could walk around this way, and he could drop a castle here, or he could send units this way, or he could send units this way. And of course, this is threatened as well. I mean, I don't really think either player has a safe wood line, really, because all players' wood is within range of reasonably ranged units in the Castle Age. It's your first time here. Okay. So yeah, we've gone to Greece, we've gone to Alaska, we've gone to space. We're planning to go to reworked Ensemble Studios maps next season. This season was an open map contest. The whole point of the league is to give players the chance to exhibit creative strategies on brand new maps. So we're churning out probably 8 or 9 new maps every 3 months. The maps go through a special process where experienced players, or any player really, is allowed to give feedback on them and help make sure that the map is strategically diverse. Because developing a new map is not easy. Because you have to, I mean, you can just copy what was done before, but then it's not very original. People like originality. So you introduce these new original concepts, but you also have to have a good feel for what would be competitive, what would be strategically diverse for a map. All Mangudais will hit the wood lines. Well, but if Superhero goes crossbows, he can hit all of these wood lines as well. I don't think that he will go crossbows. We can see that Ragnar is going fast castle, so he's building market and blacksmith, 23 pop. He is not on stone yet, so I don't know that he's going to go Mangudai, but maybe he's got some wild build that we don't know about. Now, Superhero is taking his time going up, actually. Let's check Superhero. So he's going up to the Feudal Age on 25 pop. He is not on stone either. So we all know that Superhero loves his own unique units of his own, but he's not on stone yet either. So neither player going on stone tells me that they're probably not going to drop castle. Superhero finding Ragnar's goats and stealing them. This is the league. The prize pool for the league, for this sprint of the league, is $80 US. And each player will, hopefully, in theory, play 8 games, and it'll determine what share of $80 they get. So, Superhero not messing around. He wants these goats for himself. We currently have 42 players in the league. ELO anywhere from 1K to 2.4K. So Superhero's got a nice little break here. He lost a villager to a boar earlier, and now he's taking some goats. Our highest ELO player, I think, is 2.3 and a half or something like that. 2,300. Let's see. Let me just check. Yeah, Niaz is our highest ELO player with 2342.5. Alchemy League has a very unique bracketing structure. So, these players are between 1,400 or 1,450 and 1,550. They would never see Niaz in the round robin of our tournament. So Ragnar's going to do a 3-town center boom. So we have our answer there. So he basically did a 23 pop FC, took advantage of the Mongol hunt bonus to do a 3-town center boom. So Superhero's going to scout one of those town centers. And there could be a window of opportunity for Superhero here. That's pro level? Well, no. I wouldn't say that that's pro level. But that is very good. We have some very good players in Alchemy League. But we also have 1K players in Alchemy League. We've got all kinds of people. 3 TC without any farms? He'll never maintain it. Well, let's see how much food he has. Because you're right, he is going to have to... he does not have a lot of food. So he'll probably have to buy some food. I think he's sold some wood already. He's thrown down some more farms. He should buy some food just to keep these working. He really wants to try to get ahead. But yeah, the league is set up so that you play the two people, you generally will play two people who are higher elo than you, and then two people who are lower elo than you, and they're generally about 200 elo at most away from you. Probably more like 100. It depends on how many other people are similar to your skill level who sign up. So both of these players have a gentleman's agreement. They're going to go 3 town center, both of them. I like how Superhero, though, has still doesn't quite trust Ragnar, so he replaced his palisades with stone walls here. Okay, so let's shift our analysis to booming. So both players are booming. Who has the better boom, Burgundians or Mongols? Well, Burgundians get those eco bonuses in age early, and that could be really helpful for Superhero to establish an economic lead. But then again, the Mongols have Dark Age bonuses that allow them to take hunt faster, and maybe get up a little bit sooner. Let's check villager count, actually, between these two players. So let's see. They both have 32 villagers, actually. So Ragnar going up faster, I don't really think it helped him very much. And let's see what Superhero has. So Superhero has 34 villagers. They're both tied at 34 villagers. Superhero's made a monastery. He's going to go out and try to find some relics here. Ragnar's scout is on the prowl, though. If Superhero is unlucky, Ragnar will spot this and kill this monk. Let's see what happens. Yep, look at that. Ragnar sees it. He's like, I'll take that 100 gold here. And Superhero's scout is rushing back, but not there in time. Superhero does have another monk out, and he is collecting relics. Let's see what Superhero's knowledge of the relics is. I should mention that Alchemy League, yeah, he knows about quite a few of the relics, actually. So, you know, he's interested. He's going to go after those relics. He went after them last time. Alchemy League is played on standard difficulty level. Or not difficulty level, but standard victory condition. So Ragnar adding a 4th town center here for a 4 town center boom. So that means that you can collect all the relics and start a countdown to win in Alchemy League. You could also build a wonder if you wanted. So it's more than just conquest victory conditions. Our players are required to play in standard victory mode, which can make for some pretty interesting games. Why is it called Alchemy? Oh, well, yeah, that's a long story. I don't really necessarily know if it's the best name that... Oh, look at this. Ragnar is patrolling this relic because he knows that Superhero wants the relics. Is Superhero going to spot it in time? No. Ragnar sees him first. And here goes another monk. And, of course, Superhero's scout is never in the right place. And Ragnar picking off another monk there. It is called Alchemy because it used to be a clan. And then it kind of fizzled out from being a clan because we all sucked at playing competitively. So we decided that we would just host... We were more so geared toward custom map scripts. And, come on, Superhero, block this. Just giving away another monk like that. This scout has killed like 3 monks so far. So we gave up the competitive play. And we rebranded... and decided to host competitions instead. So, Alchemy League just comes from the fact that it used to be Alchemy Clan, but Alchemy Clan rebranded into the Alchemy Guild, which is kind of just like an open association of people that love custom maps from different clans. Ragnar deciding he's gonna... Okay, so he didn't see this, I don't think. He decided, you know what, to heck with it. I'm just going to drop this castle right on top of my... Oh, no, okay, he's going to build it here. On top of this relic, so that Superhero cannot get the relic victory. Do you also do team game tournaments? Not currently. We don't have the budget for team game tournaments. But in theory, that is on my to-do list. Our specifications for all of the maps that you will see in Alchemy League casts... all of the maps that are ever featured in our competitions are required to work in team games. They have to support 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4, and all the reasonable map sizes. So, in theory, our materials could be used for team game tournaments, but we don't have the funding and the bandwidth really to organize all of that. And we have a very unique 1v1 system. So we do have the materials to host 1v1 tournaments, But applying that system to a team game, while theoretically possible, is not something that we've done yet. We've really just focused on getting a process for churning out all of these custom maps, because that is by far the hardest part about Alchemy League, is mass producing unique custom maps that are well done. But the league is really growing. A lot of people are getting involved. We're very lucky about that. So hopefully, with enough people involved, we'll get some people to step up and help cast, to help make maps, help judge maps, all that good stuff. And we really can fine-tune this assembly line to the point where we can support multiple types of competition. That would be a really awesome situation. Superhero sending another monk to his... I think Superhero's lost like 4 or 5 monks. The castle getting 1 and the scout getting 3. Of course, Ragnar knows what Superhero's up to. Superhero's going to wall this off. Let's see how their villager count looks. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. So Ragnar has 84 villagers and Superhero has 78. So Ragnar does have a slight villager lead, but Superhero has spent more time and effort getting relics, although he only has 2 to show from it. All right, he's going to get a 3rd right here. So Superhero's at least got some relics, and depending on the length of the game, that villager lead may or may not be justified from Ragnar. If the game goes really, really, really long and Superhero just catches up and the relics generate lots of gold, then it's not worth it. But if Ragnar can close this out, he can push that slight economic advantage of 8 villagers that he has before Superhero can really collect a lot of relic gold, then he could definitely be in a commanding position this game. Superhero up to Imp first, though. Ragnar has clicked up. He's about 20% of the way up. Player 2 has more villagers. Well, according to this, Player 1 has more villagers. Player 1 has 92 villagers and Superhero has 86. So, Ragnar has slightly more villagers. The Mongolian player. These relics also give food. Oh, that's true, Burgundians. Well, only if he gets the Burgundian vineyards, right? Let's check this. No, it's a team bonus. Relics generate food in addition to gold. So I guess if you figure that each relic is 1 villager mining gold, then that's 3 more villagers right there. And so 88 plus 3, that's 91. And then I don't know the food generation rate for the relics. Maybe it's the same. It is. Thank you, Cookie Pirate. Yeah, the amoxicillin does wonderful things. So we got double castle here from Ragnar. You can see that these castles are the Mongolian castles from the new patch. So every civilization has a unique looking castle. And this is what it looks like for the Mongols. So it looks very Chinese, but it makes sense because the Mongols conquered China. So it makes sense that they would have Chinese looking castles. I don't know about 2 villagers on gold. I'm not sure where you're getting that one. Alright, so Ragnar nearly Imperial Age, and Superhero is already going into the Skirmisher. So Superhero has scouted the castle. He knows there's flags on it. Superhero's got some Coustilier, and he knows that Mangudai are coming. So he's going to build up his Skirmisher army. And let's see. Ragnar is going Mangudai. He's got some Mangudai. And he's making some trebuchets now, because he sees that there are trebuchets acting on him. Now, Mangudai are actually very helpful in trebuchet battles, because they can hop around, they can jump out, and they can come in and they can snipe trebuchets. They do bonus damage against siege weapons. So Ragnar might be able to use these Mangudai to snipe trebuchets and win the trebuchet battle. But I think now's about the time to eject them. I don't think he's going to repair his castle. And he's trying to get his trebuchets up on the hill so that they don't have a hill disadvantage. And he is targeting his opponent's castle. I really think Ragnar should eject his Mangudais and have them come up right here and snipe this trebuchet and then run away. And he's doing that, but not by choice, just because this castle is injured. Alright, here they come. He's going to try to keep this castle up. It goes down. I guess it's not really worth fighting anymore. So one castle has gone down for Ragnar, which is unfortunate. So he sees that Superhero is ready for him, right? Superhero's got all these elite skirmishers, so Ragnar's going to build some stables, and he's going to make some light cav. So these Mangudai are here sneaking some shots off on the trebuchets, but he's got to avoid these skirmishers. I really think that Ragnar should focus the trebuchets, but he wants to get this castle down. And, you know, to be fair to him, he does get that castle down. He destroys the castle, and he has a couple of light cabs set upon these skirmishers now. I don't know if he's going to be able to save his other castle. I think Ragnar really does want to go Mangudai, but losing 2 castles hurts. So that's 1,300 stone down the drain, and there's not a lot of stone on this map to begin with, so I don't think Ragnar can go Mangudai anymore. I think he's done going Mangudai. I think he's got to go Cavalry Archer instead, which is unfortunate. Did he get the... at least he didn't get the elite upgrade for it. All of the other upgrades that he's getting could apply to Cavalry Archer, I believe. Now, I think there is one other important point that I want to bring up, because I've experienced a lot of Mongolian cheese, having played a lot of 1v1s on the ranked ladder at a 1300 level. Here's my 2 cents on it. Mongols are vulnerable to range. They're vulnerable to Arbalister and skirmishers, especially Arbalister. And the reason for that is because their cavalry are missing the final armor upgrade. The Castle Age armor upgrade is the extent of the armor that's available to Mongolian cavalry. And so that means that skirmishers, while they would normally not be very competent at tearing through the armor of cavalry, actually, if they work together and in large numbers, they actually can take down Mongolian light cav and Hussar even. But they can't do that if they're just kind of mindlessly chasing Mangudai across the map, which is sort of what's happening. Superhero is... he wants to expand his eco out here, but Ragnar going for a raid with the last of his Mangudai, getting a few villager pickoffs. Oh, there's a misclick there. And Superhero is accidentally taking the stone instead of building the town center. Let's do a tally on villagers here. They're basically tied on villagers, and the skirmishers do manage to clean up the last of the Mangudais. Alright, so we've got Hussar now from Ragnar, and we've got Camel from Ragnar. So Camel will be helpful against Cavalier. Cavalier are very cheap and straightforward for Superhero to go into. These are Burgundian Cavaliers, so, you know, they're not the best. They're not the best, but they're easy to tech into for Burgundians. Now, Mongols, I believe that they get heavy camel, though. So, yeah, here it is. So Ragnar is researching it. He doesn't really want to take that much of it in terms of fights for now. He really needs heavy camel before committing to this, but maybe he feels like he has sufficient numbers. But that's rule number 1, right? You don't want to take fair fights in Age of Empires. Superhero getting Paladin now. It's half price for him. And I think that Paladin Skirmisher will be pretty effective. These camels are missing armor. These skirms should shred them. Yeah, camels have 0 starting Pierce armor. With only 2 Pierce armor after upgrades, these Burgundian Skirmishers are going to deal 5 damage per shot. So basically, with 120 health, you know, figure 5 going into that. That's 24 hits. So 24 javelins from a skirmisher, a Burgundian skirmisher, and this guy's dead. Which sounds like a lot, but then you consider that there's 12 guys here. These guys can basically each, like, within 2 shots, kill an entire camel. So, you know, skirmishers are not as bad against Mongolian. I mean, they're still not ideal. They're still cavalry, right? But it is a weakness. Hey, Adam, welcome. So, Ragnar, recognizing that Superhero has a scary army, is going to raid instead. He recognizes that there's an overchop here, and he slips in with some Hussar, and this is going to be pretty annoying. Superhero's going to have to come back here and deal with this. But Ragnar is not even coming out here to engage. He's just going to harass Superhero. So we can see that Superhero's got these rolling Burgundian farmlands. He's got a monastery with a number of relics in it. I think at least 3. And Superhero is raiding his farming economy, trying to weaken him. So what's Superhero doing? He's teching into Halberdier instead. I don't necessarily know if he needs to go Halberdier. He's got 3 relics. He could send some paladins back here. That should clean these up, but he's got a monk. He's got some Flemish militia. You know, he could go Flemish Revolution. That would actually be pretty funny. Think about it, though. Like, if he went from Flemish Revolution, what would Ragnar even do? Like, Ragnar is completely out of ranged units. Ragnar not doing ranged units anymore. We see stables going down. Only now is Ragnar building archery ranges. So, presumably because Ragnar plans on going cavalry archers later. He can't go Mangadai anymore because he lost his castles. So this is actually pretty annoying. Superhero's farms have been cleared out. He's got one Halb. Oh, he's got another lonely Halb here. Some barracks, and he's got other Halbs chasing Ragnar across the map. These lumber camps are just trying to find a safe place to take wood. And he has the resources to build a couple more town centers, and I think he should. I think he should town center this, and I think he should town center this right here, or this. Just to keep his economy safe from all of the raids. Or he could just complete this wall and, like, try to make sure that superheroes... That would actually, honestly, be the best solution, is to just wall this off, build a stone wall to here, and just, like, funnel Ragnar into one spot where he can just fight him and destroy him. Are these two games live now, or just the recording? These are recordings. Yep, so... And we are sadly massively behind on recordings, because we just can't find people to cast Alchemy League. Everybody's busy casting other things. So Hyder and I do our best to cast them. We have a board of casts that kind of contains a scoreboard with all the links where you can watch different games from Alchemy League. Okay, so it looks like Ragnar is going to come in here for a ram push. Superhero needs to relocate his paladins. He needs to send these paladins up here to stop the rams. Cannot afford to let this castle go down. This castle is an important defense on his gold. Alright, Superhero realizing this, and he's going to shank the rams with some villagers. I guess that's sort of the next best thing. And he's also sending his paladins. And we're going to have a big bloody brawl here. Paladins are going to lift the siege, but boy, you know, a bunch of villagers go down. Ragnar's done the damage over here. Ragnar, even though he's killed a ton of villagers, the villager count is still competitive. Superhero managing to save this castle. Ragnar really wants that gold. I guess as we look around, like, what does Ragnar have for gold options? I guess he has this gold right here. He hasn't been here in a while. Or you can be like me and not cast anything. That's true. You have an excuse. Your computer is your computer's being rebuilt finally, which is good. Which is good because you put a lot of time and effort into that computer, and then it just like had this weird restart problem. So okay, so Ragnar, he wanted to take the. I don't know why he was like, oh, I've destroyed this castle, I can take this gold. But meanwhile, he has this gold right here, so he's going to refocus. And we just kind of see the Mongolian horde here. I guess he's not going cavalry archers. He's going to save his gold for the camels to fight the paladins, and he's going to make skirmishers instead to deal with the halberdiers. So we're going to see camel and skirm versus paladin and halb. And I actually like camel skirm better. I think there's more bonus damage that is done between those two units than halb and paladin. But I could be wrong here. It looks like Ragnar is doing a decent job of pushing Superhero. Now he does not have Siege Ram yet. I think he could really benefit from Siege Ram, but he's spending all of his resources. He's got good macro here. He's doing a good job of streaming the units out. And the stable goes down. But there's a mass of halb here that he is not prepared to deal with. So based on what you decide to stream, one group of players rather than another one, it's kind of random. There's a number of factors that determines who gets casted in Alchemy League. For some reason, actually, Superhero seems to get casted quite often. I look for map diversity. So I'll generally cast one set from one round, and then one set from another round, because they're guaranteed to have, they're not guaranteed, but if they are from the same round, then they will not have different maps. Because the map of the round for this round was Gugong. This was round 2 of Alchemy League Season 6. So we saw Gugong already. That was the arena style map. And if we casted a game from the same round, then it would also have Gugong. So therefore we cast different rounds. So there's that. I also try not to repeat players. So if I have in one cast, so let's say that I have unique maps, but let's say that Superhero is in both sets. I won't cast those sets because I have a lot of different sets to choose from. But I don't necessarily just cast like the 2K. I don't necessarily just cast the one map. It's just I try to do a variety. I try to cast high elo and low elo. I try to cast the different rounds. But it is pretty random. And then the other thing too is that game patches. I'm kind of lazy in this regard, but other people will cast will revert to previous game patches so that they can cast games from previous patches. But I will try to find games from the round that are compatible with the current patch so that I don't have to revert. So it's all very complex. But it doesn't, and sort of random, but it doesn't really have to be random. There could be a situation to put more thought into it, but we don't have to, because I know that I'm never going to be able to cast. Hyder and I are never going to be able to cast all of the games. Remind me. I'll show the players at the end of the cast. I want to say there's like between 8 and 10 people who are 2K or above in the league. We've got all kinds of people. Superhero charging in for Paladin fight here. I think really what it's going to come down to is it's going to come down to the relics. We see that Ragnar is struggling for gold. He's got 9 on gold, and he doesn't have a lot of gold units on the map. Superhero is doing much better on gold. He has 9 on gold as well, but he's got over 2K banked up. And he's got 3 relics. And I think these relics have a lot to do with his current gold supply. I think he's here randomly. I think the YouTube algorithm actually found somebody that might like this kind of content and recommended him. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But every once in a while, the YouTube algorithm is like, hey, even though this guy is like not mainstream, what the heck, go check him out. And like every once in a while, we'll pick up people that way. This channel wasn't. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm is on our side. It's a suggested video. That algorithm is so powerful. When it wants to be. When it wants to be. I think, I bash Twitch all the time, but one thing I will say about Twitch is that I think it does do a better job of recommending smaller creators. So what's Superhero's plan? I would like to see Superhero make a mangonel. Or an onager of some kind. I think that could help him clear out these skirmishers, but he may not really necessarily even need it. He's got these Custeliers here. Well, I mean, in general, yeah, I mean, all of the hot tub streams and such, I wouldn't exactly call them a good example. A benevolent company, but I feel like as a small-time creator when I was on Twitch, people noticed me more than on YouTube. I feel like I meet fewer people as a small-time creator on YouTube than I did on Twitch. And I know that YouTube has more people watching. So it's just a little different of a philosophy. And you can kind of tell this as we see Flemish militia here. No, I don't think he researched Flemish Revolution. Well, he must have, because he can make the Flemish militia. But the Flemish militia are absolutely the play here. The reason why is because they're infantry, and Superhero knows that his opponent is not equipped to deal with infantry. If his opponent had Mangudai out, then infantry would be no problem. I like how Superhero has gotten Fortified Wall here. That's funny. I think Fortified Wall is actually a very underrated technology, if you want to know the truth. It like doubles the strength of your walls, and it's like 200... It's like 400 resources total. Maybe less than that. But, yeah, there's nothing that Ragnar can make that's good against Flemish militia. I mean, he could go into Arbalister, but Superhero knows that Ragnar doesn't have the gold for that. So I predict another win from Superhero here. I think he's played really well. He timed that Imperial Age to be able to take down Ragnar's castles, and that was kind of a turning point when Ragnar realized he wasn't going Mangudai, and then he transitioned into cavalry and he did a lot of raiding. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Ragnar could have done something different? I think that Ragnar's best bet maybe would have been to try and go drill siege, or like step lancers and champions or something. I mean, he did go into the cavalry. At that time, there were a lot of paladins, and Ragnar calls the GG. So what do you do against all those paladins? I guess you have to make the camels, but, you know, Superhero basically goaded Ragnar into spending all of his gold on camels, and then Ragnar didn't have any gold to do anything else. So the game is over. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Superhero 55 with 564 kills, 399 units lost, and 18 buildings razed. 8 lost, units converted 0, largest army 83. Superhero with more resources collected. Technology, Ragnar with better feudal and castle. Superhero with better Imperial Age. This is killer right here. And then map explored, better map exploration for Ragnar, but better research for Superhero. Society, Superhero with 4 castles to Ragnar's original 2 castles, which were both destroyed. Got 3 relics and got 3,000 relic gold. So definitely pretty telling. Alright, I will be... well, actually, let me go back to the home screen now. So we're going to show Toady versus John Chilleroo. I will be right back, guys, but these are the 2 players who are going to be playing, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to refill my water real quick. There was a question about the kinds of players that we have in our league, so here it is. This is our... But don't go anywhere because we got one more set to cover, and that is Toady versus John Chilleroo. Alright guys, thank you for sticking with us. I just had to go and refill my water. So as you can see, we have a pretty big variety of players available in Alchemy League. Not available, but present, so we get all kinds of different games, and these players do not all play each other, right? You know, you might have, let's say, Yosoi Pacho right here. You know, he might play Kitsa and Ray, and then he could also play, you know, Alexander and the Otter one. So it's generally, he'll play a few players that are up here and a few players up here. The way that our matchmaking algorithm works is it starts on the top and it starts on the bottom, and it reaches into the center of the stack and picks players and matches them against their 4 closest. Alright, so let's take a look at their maps. We just saw Ragnar versus Superhero. So Toady is new to this season of the league. He is a player from the United Kingdom. And John Chilleroo has been with us since Alchemy League Season 4. He is a Chilean player. This set was played for round 1, and the map of the round in that case was Crorina. And so then they took turns discarding maps until only Confluence remained. So we're going to get to see Crorina and Confluence. In terms of Civilization Draft, the admin randomly banned these 5 civilizations. You know them. Oh yeah, those guys are legends. They're good players. They're good at the league too. So, Vietnamese, Incas, Franks, Poles, and Georgians banned at random. Shikso actually designed this civilization draft for us. And then each of these players globally banning Koreans, or Toady globally banning Koreans and Chinese, and John Chilleroo banning Malay and Mongols. And then they pick 2, snipe 1, and then pick 1 more. Or pick 2 more, I believe, actually. Yeah. So pick 2, snipe 1, pick 2 more, I think. And so Toady has the choice of Japanese, Italians, and Cumans. And John Chilleroo has the choice of Persians, Spanish, and Bengalis. Okay. So let's zoom back into the game. All right, so these guys, we're looking at 2K play here, so it's not likely that I'm going to be able to find very many mistakes with these players. This map was made by Sing Sing for Alchemy League Season 6. Maybe not 4, but it was adapted for Alchemy League Season 6. It is inspired by a place in China, I think, or in the greater Chinese area. You got these circular walls. You got sort of these gold mines, very few gold mines, a couple of bores outside of your walls, one kind of minor stone. And then you've got these random ruined and cracked fortresses that scatter the map. And what's interesting about these fortresses is that they are not convertible. They're kind of, what the heck? I've been seeing these. What are these? I don't know what those are. Looks like ice or something like that. Maybe it could be like a new patch thing or something. I'm not sure. You kind of see them in a variety of places. Anyway, so you can't really get out on these golds except to garrison in the towers and ungarrison. You see these towers are capturable like monuments. They are controlled by whoever was last closest to them. Whoever had more units nearby to these towers most recently controls them. So what you can do is you can get close to the tower with some villagers, capture the tower, and then hop out the other side, and then you're inside of this little walled area. And then you can build a mining camp in there if you wish. I don't know if a mule cart can go through the tower. Actually, I would assume that it can't, but you could probably go inside and then build the mule cart, and it should be just fine. So, you got to be careful, though, because although, sure, you're inside of these walls and you're safe from scouts and you're safe from other cavalry, man-at-arms can capture these towers and hop inside. And we see John Chilleroo is pushing in a gazelle. Or archers could capture these towers and then hop inside. So you're not safe from archers or man-at-arms, but you are safe from scouts. So that is something to bear in mind. It looks like some camels have found their way inside of this ruined fortress. Maybe the camels figured out how to use the tower themselves. Will I cast games from Shixo and Ice-T? Probably, yeah, at some point. I haven't cast any from this season of the league, but I have cast games from those guys in the past. They're pretty good at this sort of thing. Both of those players have won money in Alchemy League, so I've casted their games before. It's a pleasure having them. Both German players. Okay, so John Chilleroo is playing as the Blue Spanish. So I've explained before we get into the civilizations. One more note. So I've explained the fortresses. You can destroy these monuments in the center, and if you do, they will spawn a relic. So I don't necessarily know if we're going to go that route of like destroying things to spawn resources for future seasons of the league, but that is the way that it is for this map for now. So these relics cannot be used for a relic victory because they were not on the map at the start of the game. Oh, look at this. Toady is actually almost feudal age. So Toady is coming forward, and he's playing as the Cumans. So I'm wondering if he's going to build a ram, a siege workshop, and a ram, and try to get in here. Or if he's going to build a town center and use the town center to take map control as Cumans. It looks like he does have the wood for it. He's going to build a town center right here. Alright, well that's kind of an interesting choice. So it sort of gives him a forward position. He's going to do the Cuman boom. You know, maybe he figures, I can build a palisade wall here. I can kind of build one off here. I can kind of fortify and secure this area. And it gives him some map presence over here. Now, I don't know that John Chilleroo knows about this. I don't think he does. Yeah, John Chilleroo actually has not really scouted very much. Oh, here's why. John Chilleroo is pushing in deer. So John Chilleroo is going fast castle. So John Chilleroo playing as a Spanish. I think it's dangerous to go two town centers as Cumans against Spanish. Because if the Spanish go fast castle and they like make conks or they make monks or they make siege, they can really hurt you. I mean, sure, you get these fortified palisade walls, but these are nowhere near as strong as stone walls. So, you know, this is dangerous stuff. What Toady is doing. So what I like about what Toady is doing though is that I'll bet you that John Chilleroo is not going to be looking over here. So it's like Toady is going to get some free boom going on. And John Chilleroo is going to be running around with the conquistadors, and he's probably going to be looking over here. I don't think that John Chilleroo will look right next to himself. So maybe that's part of the plan for Toady. We'll see. We'll see. And sort of in a predictable fashion, market going up for John Chilleroo. And he's just about got the food to click up. He's just got to force drop off a little bit. And yeah, he's on his way up to the castle age. These guys are 2K players, so they're very good. They know what they're doing. We can see that John Chilleroo is on the stone. So John Chilleroo is definitely going to go for a castle. He's even sending some more villagers out, presumably to go on the stone. And he's out looking for his opponent now. So he's like, well, all right, I'm going to be making a castle. I'm going to be training conquistadors, and I need to know where to send those conquistadors. So here he is out here with his scout looking for Toady. He's not looking in the right spot because Toady's over here, but he's looking for him, and he probably will find him. The question will be what he finds. Does he find this circle, or does he find Toady's side base that's close to him? Toady's got a little farm, a couple farms. He's got some lumberjacks. He's got some hunters. He has not sent any gold miners out. All right, so here comes John Chilleroo. I think he's going to spot this now. All right, he sees the villager, sees the house going up. He sees the wood lines, and here are all of the villagers. So this is the Spanish castle drop right here. John Chilleroo is nearly up to the castle age. I think Toady's kind of building this bubble out, you know, because he wants to deny space. And John Chilleroo is looking for a good spot to drop this castle. Got to deal with this wolf, though. That's kind of annoying. And Toady's got his scout here. And, alright, he's going to drop the castle right here. And I'm not exactly sure why Toady is taking gold here. I honestly think it is a ruse. I don't think Toady is really intending to take gold here. I think he was just taking gold here to either lure John Chilleroo or confuse John Chilleroo, make John Chilleroo think that he was taking gold in this region. We all know that Toady wants to take gold down here, right? I mean, he's got this presence. All he's got to do is garrison in the tower and hop through the tower, and he could take this gold. And but he's got his stone here instead. So, all right. So we got a Spanish castle, new patch, new architecture, and Castle's working on this house, and conquistadors are under production. So does John Chilleroo. He still doesn't know that Toady has a secret base over here. Oh, this is fun. I don't know. Will he find it? We'll have to watch. Oh, this is bad timing though. Look at this. So Toady trying to get out. John Chilleroo sees it, and it's like, all right, well, can't go that way. So he has to pull back to his town center. Nobody died yet though. Nobody died. Managed to keep this lady alive, which is at least fortunate for Toady. So conquistadors can't go through this way. I don't know if they're going to try to go around or what the deal is. Oh, but John Chilleroo is on to Toady, and he is building an outpost here. And Toady building a watchtower. He wants to get on this stone, Toady does. Or maybe he wants to get on this gold. I'm not sure which it is. And Town Center trying to shoot those conquistadors. And we got double tower here from Toady as he walls these conquistadors out. And he's trying to secure these minerals here. So John Chilleroo decides, I'm going to build a siege workshop. I want those watchtowers dead. Now let's check on Toady and see if Toady is anywhere near clicking up to... No, he's nowhere close to clicking up to the castle age. He really needs to get up. He's got 54 villagers, and John Chilleroo has 28. So Toady's economy is massive relative to John Chilleroo's, and that's an advantage for Toady. Now, does John Chilleroo know about Toady's side base? He does not. He still has not scouted Toady's side base. This is amazing. He just barely misses it. Alright, so Toady garrisons in the tower. The tower is pretty much the only answer that he has to conquistadors for the moment. And John Chilleroo is still running by, does not scout. Okay, he scouts the blacksmith now. Surely the presence of this blacksmith will reveal to John Chilleroo that Toady is over here. But I guess maybe he thinks that it was kind of a forward. He saw he had villagers out here. Maybe he is not. Okay. He's still trying to get at these villagers. He gets one villager pick off. He gets another villager pick off. Toady fills up the towers. And conquistadors are taking fire, but they do manage to survive. And so is John Chilleroo finally going to come over this way? Okay, he's got a mangonel. Toady is so far ahead in villagers, he could keep both of these towers garrisoned and still have a villager lead, even though those villagers are not working on anything. So John Chilleroo not interested in this blacksmith. He's not curious at all. That's funny. So he's like, well, I'm not going to pressure this blacksmith. Meanwhile, Toady is down here with an infestation. Look at this. He's taking gold like a madman. He's taking stone. He's taking wood. And let's see. Oh, that's Gaia. No wonder that has no resources. Gaia doesn't work. And Toady is on his way up to the castle age. He's not going with this town center, though. He's researching it with this town center. He regards this town center as safer, which is probably accurate. He's got 4 towers on this stone. Yeah, he spots this blacksmith and he doesn't really question it. It's like, oh, all right, well, my opponent built a blacksmith there. Oh well. All right, Toady is castle age. Surely John Chilleroo is like suspicious. How does this guy have the resources to get to castle age? He picks off 2 more villagers before Toady can react. And Tody garrisons this town center. Okay, he does take down a conquistador. Now, if you're Tody, what's the plan here? Well, the first plan is to get Bodkin. So he's getting Bodkin, and he's gonna build a castle. I don't know where he's gonna build the castle. Oh, he's gonna build it right here. Okay. He thinks that John Chilleroo is on this stone. Now, this will be quite a shocker for John Chilleroo. And yep, there goes 1, 2, 3, 4. John Chilleroo too busy microing villagers against Tody. 5, 6, 7. Loses all of his stone miners because he's too busy running around in here, and Tody is like faking a castle, and so John Chilleroo is trying to get in here, but I honestly don't think Tody cares about this town center anymore. I think he's got enough other stuff going on. He could build a town center like right here or something. He could build another castle. I don't... What's John Chilleroo doing? He's not... Surely John Chilleroo has spotted this by now. No, he has not spotted it yet. He's still making roads this way. Okay, he has spotted it finally. Alright, he's got villagers fleeing, and he's going to build another town center here. So, his opponent breaks into his base, drops a castle on his starting town center, so he's going to lose his starting town center too. I love this. These guys are much more aggressive than previous sets that we've casted on this map. And Tody is here with a couple of Kipchaks. I don't know if he can get any villager kills. This villager's running away. Tody's going to micro that guy down. He's going to micro that lady down. He's going to take the 2 villager kills and then run off. Yeah, Tody is pretty smart. I haven't seen this player before in Alchemy League, but I'm impressed. I like this. Okay, John Chilleroo has finally found this. He's realized that this is the source of much of Tody's wealth. This is the reason why Tody can afford to be annoying. Now, Tody still has villagers in here and such. You know, John Chilleroo can't really push around. Let's check the villager count. Tody with 62 villagers and John Chilleroo with 27. And John Chilleroo rebuilding his farming economy. So Tody's original town center has been destroyed. John Chilleroo's starting town center is being destroyed and is not currently under use. John Chilleroo has... Okay, Tody microing the Kipchaks underneath the mangonel. So John Chilleroo is going to have to bring up a couple more mangonels. I think Tody trying to micro underneath these mangonels would be playing with fire, though. I don't think he's going to try that. That would be too crazy. John Chilleroo coming back with some more mangonels to pressure Tody's town center. He's really got to pay attention to this area. Monastery being built by Tody. Oh my goodness, this is so confusing. This is a human monastery, but it looks like a... I don't know. It's, it doesn't look like any monastery I've ever seen. So John Chilleroo needs to pay attention here. And John Chilleroo calling the GG, realizing that Tody is just everywhere. But Tody's showing us the power of the sneak cumin base. That was pretty impressive. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Tody with 22 kills, 21 deaths. John Chilleroo destroying 10 buildings and losing 3. Tody with a larger army of 15 Kipchaks, presumably. John Chilleroo with 11 conquistadors. Tody with more resources collected across the board, which makes sense. Tody with better feudal age time. He went fast feudal into that second town center. John Chilleroo with a 13-minute castle age. Tody with 34 villager high. John Chilleroo with... Sorry, 64 villager high for Tody. 34 for John Chilleroo. Timeline, we can just see that Tody's economy was massive. That was actually a really fun game. I'm glad that I casted that. It was pretty entertaining. See John Chilleroo going after Tody, destroying his base, and not realizing that Tody has another one. Okay, so here we go. We've got Confluence now. Italians versus Persians. So Confluence, what is it? This map was made by Jasuni for Alchemy League Season 6. So it's a lot like Black Forest. You got these dense forest patches. I think building can actually be a little bit of a challenge here, but then you have this branching river. You've got some oysters on the river, and you've got some fish as well. Not a ton, a little bit. You've got a neutral land over here. And the fun part about it is that players start right next to each other. So John Chilleroo building a dock immediately. He's taking a boar immediately. So John Chilleroo, he's known for his hybrid plays. He's probably got some wild build order where he gets this fishing ship immediately. And he goes on boar immediately. And because boar collect faster than sheep, he's able to keep up in villager count. But he's going to have to start chopping stragglers pretty soon. But he wants to use the Persians to get that free fishing ship out as soon as possible. Get that fishing ship working to help him get an economy lead, whereas we see a more traditional build from Toady. So let's talk about these civilizations. Italians are a pretty hard counter to Persians, in my view. Persians are all about mounted units, and Italians have the Genoese crossbowman that deals damage to units if they are on horses. Or more specifically, if your feet are not touching the ground, this unit is consecrated by God to smite you, to deal bonus damage to you, because your feet are not touching the ground in battle. So it could be camels, could be elephants, could be like wagons and stuff like that, like war wagons from Koreans. John Chilleroo trying to push in this deer, but given the size of these patches, it could be a little bit challenging for him. He is not going for the oysters, which makes sense because he doesn't need gold right now. He needs food. He needs food to keep his economy going. Taking some shots at Toady here. Toady stuttering a little bit. Takes a big hit. So he's not going to be able to scout fight John Chilleroo anymore, but at least he knows where John Chilleroo's town center is. So he found John Chilleroo. Now he's looking for his resources. So Toady coming out to dock as well. Italians also, I think, have maybe more relevant bonuses on this map. They spend less on dock and university technology. So we could see Toady research ship upgrades faster than John Chilleroo just because they're cheaper for him. And he gets this dock up and he sees that John Chilleroo is already here exhausting half of the fish. Greedily taking half the fish, which is sort of annoying. But he is going to get on the fish action. He's got a fishing ship in queue himself. Oops. Toady is housed. Easy to do when you've got a dock up. He brings in his other boar. John Chilleroo's scout is actually very injured. I bet he took some hits from this town center and we just didn't comment on it earlier. So now Toady wants to fight this. And is he going to get the kill? No, he does not get the kill. He needs one more hit. And here's John Chilleroo just kind of babysitting his sheep. Doesn't want Toady to try to steal them. And, alright, Toady... I was just kind of wondering about that, because Toady seemed to have his fishing ships working on the shore fish. They gather faster from the deep fish, and this deep fish is going to be gone pretty soon. Let's see if we can look at their camps and see what they've got planned here. I almost feel like Toady could click up right now. Yep, he's clicked up right now. It's cheaper for the Italians. And so he's going to go up to the next stage and he's going to make fire ships and he's going to clear this out. He doesn't like this, right? He knows that John Chilleroo has an advantage over him with these fishing ships, and he's like, yeah, we gotta stop that. So he's going up on 22 pop, It makes sense. Italians can do that kind of thing. It's cheaper for them. Let's take a look at what John Chilleroo is up to. Actually, John Chilleroo is going up first. John Chilleroo is able to take advantage of the earlier fishing ship to click up sooner. So John Chilleroo is going to get up first, and he's also building another dock. So he's actually going to be up to feudal age first, and that's going to scare the bejesus out of Toady, I would think. John Chilleroo up at 22 pop himself. Persian docks work faster. Persian town centers work faster. I mean, if you're Toady and you have 2 fishing ships, maybe you just let this go. Like, maybe you're just like, yeah, all right, whatever. You know, you've got 3 fishing ships. I'm not going to be able to keep up with you. And indeed, Toady has not built another dock. So I wonder if Toady is just going to go fast castle off of this, or if he's going to go archers, or what Toady is going to do. But John Chilleroo, he has already made a fire galley, and he's going to sink Toady's 2 fishing ships. John Chilleroo, hello. Come over here and sink the fishing ships. They are easier to destroy than the dock. See what Toady's resources look like. No, he's going to fight it. He's going to fight it on 1 dock. It's like he's building a demolition raft and he's building an archer. Oh! Well, I missed that. Alright, so Toady, this is awesome. So Toady has a sneak archery range in the back of John Chilleroo's base. And the reason that this is powerful is because there's not a lot of build space back here to begin with. So, you get back here, kind of complicate your opponent's ability to take map control. A little bit frustrating. He's going to build a blacksmith here too. Now he's also monitoring John Chilleroo's wall building villager. So if we look at Toady's point of view, he's going to see this villager going by, and I don't think he engage. Oh no, he's going to engage. He's going to engage and try to prevent John Chilleroo from walling. Now I don't think he can win this fight. Nope, he does not win this fight, but the villager is injured now. So I'm wondering if he ejects his archers to go and finish off the villager. But he's used up his scout, so he can't really see what John Chilleroo is doing now. And Toady's going to wall this off. He's giving up water. He built a single demolition raft. I don't know if he got any value off of those hits. But this is where he's cast his lot. So he's on John Chilleroo's wood line. He gets 1 villager, 2 villager, 3 villagers down, and Toady rushing, or sorry, John Chilleroo rushing up a barracks. He's like, all right, well, I have to deal with this. Here comes Toady. He's going to come over this way to see if there's an opening here. Sees that it's walled out. John Chilleroo attempting to wall this out. I don't know that Toady's going to get any more villager pickoffs. Nope. So this is kind of the extent of John Chilleroo's walls. So Toady is going to build a tower. I love this. So Toady builds a tower. Or he's building a tower. John Chilleroo has to counter tower. These archers cannot get in. John Chilleroo has more villagers to build a tower with. I think that this tower is too bold for Toady. I think he needed to build it back a little bit so that John Chilleroo would not see it. Because now, as it stands, John Chilleroo is going to see it, and he's going to be able to deny Toady's tower. Unless Toady does some fancy micro with his archers to keep this tower going up. I mean, it's close. It's like at 95 garrisons inside of the tower. And the archers will actually do more damage, so it denies John Chilleroo's gold. And Toady ejecting the villagers, and he garrisons just archers in this tower. So he shuts down John Chilleroo's gold mine for at least a little while. And where will John Chilleroo take gold? Well, he actually could take gold on the river, and that's what he's doing. So he's taking these oysters. I don't know how fast that will be relative to taking this gold mine. I would assume it's not as good of an option. nobody can really afford to repair their tower. I think that John Chilleroo has the advantage. Yeah, Toady trying to garrison in the tower, but he can't. So, I don't know if this tower... I mean, this tower could probably be repaired now. So Toady is going to shank down this wall, and he's going to head out with his archers. And John Chilleroo is sending a sneak villager out of his own to try to claim some resources out here. It's a thickly forested area. So I don't think that Toady spotted that. And Toady going to build another tower here. I love this. On John Chilleroo's wood line. Now this is a very, very annoying tower. Now, does John Chilleroo see that tower? I think he does. I think he's able to see it. No, he can't see it. Oh, that is very unfortunate for John Chilleroo. And now he sees it. So he's going to see the tower going up, and maybe he'll counter tower himself, although he doesn't have the stone for it. But this tower shuts down like 1.5 wood lines. Alright, John Chilleroo pulling back now. And he's going to counter tower. But I think Toady has enough of a head start on this tower that, yeah, he's able to garrison his archers in the tower. And deal some more damage to John Chilleroo. I don't know if he's going to kill any villagers from that. Kind of a little bit of a mishap with the micro here if he's not able to kill some villagers building the tower. Alright, there goes one. Alright, so he at least gets one. Should be able to get a lot. Another tower going up here. I don't know why John Chilleroo is building this tower here. This tower doesn't really make sense to me. Toady just focusing on killing villagers. He's got more and more archers. John Chilleroo going to wall this off, and he can see that this is the origination point of the archers. If Toady is paying attention, he should eject this archery range right here and prevent this wall off. I think this is kind of a misplay from Toady to allow this wall to go up, especially considering that he had units inside this archery range. But we can't all be looking everywhere at once. Now, John Chilleroo has archers of his own, and he's going to counterattack Toady. But Toady is completely walled up. So Toady knows that with a forward, you know, you're less likely to be able to defend yourself at home because you don't have any production buildings at home. So he's already walled. And John Chilleroo is still feudal age, and he's got a massive feudal imbalance. And Toady is on his way up to the castle age. So Toady building another tower here for whatever reason. Somehow these archers got in. I think maybe there was a gap here. A gap in this house wall. And they just kind of dove in. Toady castle age now. He's got a bunch of villagers on stone, so probably planning to build a castle. There was a brief scrap over water, but they're not really fighting it right now. And I don't see what happened to John Chilleroo's... Oh, here it is. So John Chilleroo's sneak villager, he built a dock over here, which was not what I was expecting. John Chilleroo building another defensive tower here just to make sure that Toady is not able to come through this way. So Toady has gone into crossbow now. He's looking for an opportunity to do damage. I think that John Chilleroo is pretty much all towered up. He either controls the towers or he controls the river. So I think it's John Chilleroo even house walling this to make sure that Toady can't slip in this way. That's funny. Even though Toady would have to walk past all of these fishing ships to get over here, John Chilleroo is just not taking any chances. I don't think John Chilleroo needs those houses. Let's see. I guess he kind of does. He's 10 away, but still. So Toady has built a siege workshop, and he's got a mangonel, working on this house. And he's looking to come in this way. House goes down. Here comes Toady. He's probably going to camp the base of this tower with the archers. No, he's just going to finish the tower with the mangonel. And he's going to send the archers through to try to pick off some more villagers. He is going to succeed in picking off that villager. So let's see the villager count now. John Chilleroo with 56, Toady with 47. Toady adding, John Chilleroo adding a couple of town centers to try to expand his economy lead. I don't think he realizes he's already in the lead. Maybe to help him secure these resources. Toady built a castle here. I think that Toady could have built that castle right here. I know it's easy for us to say because we're all seeing. I guess this castle could help him out if he wanted to go back on water, which is probably sort of his next step. Let's see what Toady's resources look like. It doesn't really look like he's preparing to go on water. Mangonel here. Some free hits for John Chilleroo. Toady's got to repair it. I don't think he's going to have much luck pushing through the back here anymore. I think it's time to transition over to water or to take advantage of existing openings. Oh, right, that was his archery range that he deleted. Got to be very careful here. Okay, 1 for 1. Archer's trying to pick off some villagers. The mangonel's still working. Toady trying to kill more villagers. I think that this is actually an attack ground, like right behind the tower. Okay, so he wants to eject the villagers, and then he wants to shoot them. And actually that looks like it's working pretty well for him. He's going to take down this tower. And it did cost him a few units, but this tower will go down. And John Chilleroo is kind of off this stone now. And Toady making Genoese crossbowmen. But John Chilleroo has a couple more mangonels. And he also has a large fishing economy up here that Toady does not know about. So, where is that villager that came up here? Surely he did not send that villager home. Toady has made a knight now to snipe mangonels. So you guys, we might see this knight charge in. The knight will not be effective if there isn't an opening, but if there is an opening, the knight can run in and snipe some mangonels. It'll be a pretty useful tool. Oh! Alright. So John Chilleroo gets a free mangonel out of that. That's a good deal for John Chilleroo. Toady has to repair the other. So Toady has the resources for another castle. He might try to come forward and build it here. The problem is that there are mangonels, so he can't just drop a castle in his opponent's face, as much as he might like to. He's building a stable. Maybe he's going to make a couple more knights to deal with the mangonels, and then he can drop the castle in his opponent's face. And he's getting bloodlines as well. John Chilleroo is kind of cornered here. Does not have a lot of the map under his control. Let's take a look at John Chilleroo's resources. So John Chilleroo is housed. Toady keeps destroying his houses. Big hit, though, here from John Chilleroo. This is really good for John Chilleroo. He needed that, because here Toady was absolutely persecuting John Chilleroo with these crossbows. John Chilleroo actually does have the score lead, and he has more villagers. So John Chilleroo with 87 villagers to Toady's 61. But this has been a really good game so far. Alright, so I guess Toady deciding that he's just going to destroy some forward buildings and not have to deal with the mangonels. John Chilleroo feeling vulnerable toward the front, so he's going to drop a castle here. And I think that's going to seal off... Alright, so Toady sees it. He does not want that castle going up because he wanted to drop the castle there. And you can see all of his villagers having the path around now. And he sends his Genbo forward as well. So here come the villagers now. Sees the castle is half built. The other advantage for this is that he knows that his opponent is probably not going to counter castle him. So he might be able to drop a castle back here. Just continue to be a huge nuisance. So this castle will go up, it looks like. I think Toady has lost the knights necessary to contest this. Nope. Alright, here it is. So Toady's like, alright, well, you're going to wall this off. That's fine. I'll just build a castle here. Prevent you from walling. So he's got some mangonels to deal with the rams. And Persian castle goes up. You can see the new castle architecture. Mangonel rolling forward. This mangonel is going to be a problem. Toady desperately needs to take out that mangonel, and he succeeds with his remaining mangonel. If he only had one mangonel, he would have been in huge trouble. But the castle goes up, and John Chilleroo has enough resources for Imp. So John Chilleroo will now click up to the Imperial Age. And Toady's pretty close. You can see that he's idling his town center, because both players intend to click up to the Imperial Age. John Chilleroo has already clicked up, and Toady is going to click up soon. I think he's going to sell some resources. Maybe sell a little bit of wood, a little bit of food, and then click up. It's cheaper for Italians. So I think it's like 800 something food and like 600 or 700 something gold. But he knows he needs to get up as soon as possible. Because he needs to be able to treb down his opponent's castle. And we see that Toady is clicked up as well. This has been a really good cast so far, I have to say. We've had some really good games. I'm pretty impressed. It makes me want to set aside time to cast more. Hopefully I'll be able to. So Toady getting ahead on the repairs a bit. See the new Persian architecture. We also see that the Italians retained this castle architecture. So I guess that belongs to them now. The Spanish and the Byzantines and the Romans all having... Well, the Romans had their own unique architecture before. Toady continued to make Genoese crossbowmen. So what I'd like to see, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but here's the play. Toady builds a university. He gets chemistry upon hitting the Imperial Age. Oh, he's doing it! Yeah, so he needs chemistry, and here's why. If he gets chemistry, he can build cannon galleons from the dock, and he can win every treb war. I mean, look at what his opponent has. Everything his opponent, like half of what his opponent has, can be reached from the river. So I feel that cannon galleon will really help Toady seal this game. John Chilleroo is ahead on the trebuchets. So I don't know that Toady could ever win the Treb War. I don't know that it's worth it. What is this? John Chilleroo deleting this archery range to come out here. Oh, okay. He's going to build another castle here. He really wants to win that Trebuchet War. And Toady reaching the Imperial Age, he's building a Trebuchet of his own. He's building 2 trebuchets, actually, because he can make another one from this castle, which is kind of funny. And he's just now getting Ore Scholar. Oh my goodness, Toady. Alright, the university is up. He'll probably get chemistry as soon as he can afford it. And John Chilleroo has dropped a castle on Toady's stone. And he's secured this gold as well. And I think that what we'll see is Toady focus this castle and John Chilleroo focus this castle. No, Toady. No, not this castle. This one. Focus fire, man. Destroy one castle at a time. Alright, Toady getting chemistry. He's building a siege workshop. So he's actually I'm going to go bombard cannon, which I think is a mistake. I think that ships would be better. And we can see that John Chilleroo is actually kind of using this cannon galleon strategy against Toady. So Toady has to come over here and repair this castle too. But Toady will probably make bombard cannon. He doesn't quite have the gold for it. And he's desperately repairing. We got more cannon galleons coming from the north from John Chilleroo's sneak dock that he had up here that Toady never scouted. And this castle will go down. I think that Blue's castle will go down as well. John Chilleroo, I think he will lose this castle. Maybe not. Cannon galleon are kind of everywhere. Luckily for Toady, he's kind of got some knights here, but John Chilleroo managing to camp these cannon galleons in a location that is inaccessible to the knights, which is quite a good play. And I think that John Chilleroo is going to take this. I mean, Toady was more aggressive, but he invested more heavily into additional castles, maybe underestimated his opponent. Probably wasn't expecting his opponent to have a bunch of economy up here. This is gold collection and food collection that really helped John Chilleroo. And I think this is John Chilleroo's game. It's not over. Toady's repairing his bombard cannon. His opponent still has to cross the river. He's going to add another town center now. And Toady has some genbos back here to keep this area secure. He's sending some villagers up this way. Not sure what this is. Maybe he's suspicious. He sees the cannon galleons come from this direction, so he's sending villagers up here now. War galleon and demolition ship. And certainly he's aware of these outposts. No, he's not. He hasn't found the outposts yet. So John Chilleroo knows that these villagers are here. But Toady does not know how John Chilleroo would know that. Yeah, so John Chilleroo sees these villagers. And he knows that Toady hasn't approached this. But Toady hasn't found any of this yet. We go back to his point of view. Doesn't know. So Toady trying to get onto water. Got 7 HP left on this dock. Toady, delete the dock. Ah, too late. Loses the wood. He's researching War Galley. Where does he build his docks though? It looks like John Chilleroo is kind of beating him to the punchline here. We got some monks. Okay. So Toady's answer is going to be monks. He's going to convert these ships with monks. That could work out pretty well if he gets redemption. And he's also getting fast fire ship from the one dock that he has. Not redemption, sorry, block printing. You don't need redemption to convert ships. Ships can be converted without any special technology. So John Chilleroo not paying attention. Trebuchet getting flattened by bombard cannon. And Toady going to try to come back on water over here. Alright, we got some monks coming forward. These are the new Eastern European Orthodoxy themed monks. That's what Byzantine monks will look like, I suppose. With the wide-rimmed hats and the robes. But no, I guess they have block printing. But so far the galleons did a pretty decent job of beating back the monks, but there are, sorry, the war galleys, but the bombard cannons are pretty effective against them actually. But I don't see how Toady stops John Chilleroo's name. Oh! Alright, I see how now. So Toady has spammed some docks up here. He's figured out about John Chilleroo's sneak economy. And he's burning it. And he's got fast fire ships. So it's easier to get into fast fire ship. requires fewer upgrades, and so he's going to fight this now. Toady, hello Toady. He doesn't realize because he's fighting somewhere else. All right, he retasks his ships to fight. He needs more houses because he's housed. Yeah, I don't know how much value he got out of the monasteries, but this distraction up here is allowing him to take down this castle, which is kind of a needed win for Toady. And push back, and yep, castle goes down, and he doesn't even lose a cannon out of that. He's able to pull the cannons back in time before the fast fire ship destroys it. So we got a big naval battle here. I think Italians are better off with galleons, because it's kind of a narrow channel, and the fire ships maybe can't even get around all of the galleons necessarily. Pathing could be a little bit harder for this water arrangement. But galleons require more research to max out than fire ships. So this is easier for Toady to get into, and that's why he chose them. He's making some demolition rafts to knock hit points off of John Chilleroo's fire ships and even the odds. John Chilleroo has finally spread out to this neutral body of land here, but he only has a town center, and he's only taking some stone. He has a transport ship as well. I'm not really sure why he built the transport ship. Could give him some options to land in certain places. Maybe surprise his opponent, more likely. And Toady making some more docks, although he's left this open. So I think he definitely wants an avenue to attack his opponent via land through this crossing. Let's see if we can figure out how many relics everybody has. John Chilleroo with 128 villagers, though. Let's see. I can figure out Toady, John Chilleroo's relic count. So John Chilleroo, no relics in that monastery. I don't know that he has any relics. Oh, you know what? I think all the relics are on this neutral island. And it looks like there's at least 2, maybe 3. I can't really tell. Looking at the mini-map, I'd have to ask the map maker, Jasuni, how many relics there are on the map. Don't know if... Okay, it looks like Toady's been picking up relics. Let's see. He's got 1 relic. So at least 3 relics. Seems low to me. You know, in general, for a 1v1 2-player map size, you want 5 relics. For most situations. Now the Persians have to go fast fire ship because they are missing bracer, so their galleons are quite bad. But they do get dry dock, and they do get a lot of their dock technologies. So their fast fire ships should be decent. You know, it's not like they should be bad at it, and their docks work faster too. Ooh, heavy demolition ship. Oh, that's a big hit there from John Chilleroo. Another big hit, and wipes out a lot of Toady's navy. So Toady has to regroup. John Chilleroo trying to stall him out, building stone walls and such at the front of his base. I think what Toady really needs is he really just needs to be able to cross over. He's got villagers working back here. And John Chilleroo knows all about it because there's an outpost here. But he really just needs, like... I guess he's got a stable. Could use an archery range, maybe a siege workshop over here. Make some cannons. It's really what he needs. He needs these cannons that are right here. He needs them over here. Before he loses water control, because if he loses water control, he can't really cross over. But I think Toady is more concerned about John Chilleroo's expansion on the right. Okay, looks like they had a pause from a recent game patch changed the hotkeys or something. John Chilleroo adding a castle here to help lock down his position. Toady occupies a lot of John Chilleroo's native land, so it makes sense. Oh, here's a relic right here. Alright, so it actually is on this side, which is kind of strange. And I'm going to come out here and build a lumber camp. So John Chilleroo is pretty confident that he's secured this area. He's got some demolition rafts. You know, if Toady knows about this, which I don't think he does, he doesn't know that John Chilleroo is taking these oysters. If he knew about this, like demolition ship, boom, demolition ship, boom, demolition ship, boom. I love blowing up villagers with demolition ships, but I don't think Toady knows about it. So therefore, he cannot do anything about it. Villager count, Toady is now over 100 villagers himself, and still spamming fire ships. I really don't know that the water is... I would just roll across with these light cav and a few genbos and the cannons and just wipe stuff out. But he's still fighting water up here for some reason. Maybe it's because he's housed and he doesn't have the population space to do both. But at least he's raiding this. Like, he feels that it adds value to raid. Now, John Chilleroo has made some Cavaliers. The Cavaliers have terrible armor upgrades. They only have the Feudal Age armor. So... but I think he really needs to destroy buildings. I think that buildings are very underrated on this. Or destroying buildings is underrated. And here's why. There's not a lot of space to rebuild them. Let's say that Toady came over here and in the next 2 minutes destroyed all of these buildings. John Chilleroo would be in rough shape. Where would he recover all of these buildings, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 60 population space. 65, 70. This is 75, 80, 85 population space right here that he could just wipe out. And then John Chilleroo would have to, like, figure out how to build all that over here, which he probably could, but it would be super annoying to have to do. It's not easy to path to. Now, luckily for Toady, despite the fact that he's being raided here, these Cavaliers have only the Feudal Age armor upgrades, and Toady's got Bracer. So... he's just ripping through the armor of these Cavaliers. Ordinarily, these Cavaliers would be pretty champ. You know, they'd be able to take this, but they can't take it right now. Architecture coming in for John Chilleroo. Just looking to keep his buildings alive, I guess. Oh, you know what? I bet it's to help preserve the life on the docks. Help the docks last longer. I mean, they already have twice the hit points of regular docks. But that will make them even stronger. We can see that Toady has gone into galleons as well. What is this right here? Why can't Toady just come in? Yeah, maybe he doesn't want to. John Chilleroo has some trebuchets back here. I don't think he realizes Toady's got raiding units, or maybe he has a plan to protect these later. Don't know. But we do know that he is incessantly raiding this. But I think that villagers are not the issue. I think it's buildings. I really think it's buildings. If you can get some rams in here or something to clear this up, oof, that would be hard. Cannon galleons from the Italians. John Chilleroo has built a forward up here on Todi. He's got a castle pushing him, so Todi's got to deal with that. And John Chilleroo building a stable as well. He wants to close out the game by invading Todi's starting base. And look at Todi's like chopped all of this out. He's actually managed his space pretty well. He's got Hussar flooding in. Now, the advantage for John Chilleroo is that Todi doesn't have... I don't think Todi has a castle anymore. Yeah, Todi doesn't have any more castles. So, all that John Chilleroo has to do now is just spam Persian camels. And I think... And make like maybe a few rams. And I think Todi's actually done. With enough camels. I don't think water matters anymore. Nobody has any eco on water anyway. So, I mean, I guess John Chilleroo had some stuff, but... It doesn't really matter. He could let his opponent have land. I think he's sort of recognizing with this landing that you know I gotta hit my opponent at home. I gotta clear out my opponent's base. My opponent is attempting to clear out mine. Would love to see camel though. So Todi, nothing on gold, no gold. Let's see how John Chilleroo is doing. He's got 11 on gold. And he's finally getting the final armor upgrade for his cavalry. So they'll be able to withstand raids. They're only light cav. He could use Hussar. But they will do. They will do for now to keep his opponent busy. And Todi has converted a war elephant in this area. John Chilleroo attempting to build another town center. Todi has constructed a few stables out here. And he's building a third. Just to deny this area. John Chilleroo desperately trying to get this town center up. But this elephant is a problem. It's 470 HP. And Todi with another monastery back here. He's collected another relic. So that's at least, I think, 3 relics that Todi has. No, it's 1 relic with 2 monks inside that monastery and then another relic. So he's got at least 2 relics. Looks like there's another relic here. So John Chilleroo has built a monastery, and then there's another relic here. So let's see. John Chilleroo... He's decided that his opponent has given up on water, so he's gonna rebuild more fishing. He's also gonna make halberdier, and it looks like he's gotten Hussar finally. So yeah, he's got Hussars running around with camels. His opponent's base. I really think he needs rams. And what the? Todi has a bunch of cavalry up here attacking these buildings sort of randomly. These guys are all over the map. It's kind of entertaining. And they're really neck and neck in terms of score. Could see this going either way. Todi, it looked pretty rough for Todi earlier, but he's making a comeback. Fishing ship burned down. John Chilleroo focusing this area for economy. Todi's going to find it. Now, John Chilleroo is in on pikes. And the nice thing about halberdier, rather, is that, well, all pikemen line. Halberdier, pikemen, spearmen. They do bonus damage against ships if they have the opportunity to attack. So the crossings on this river are kind of narrow, though. So there's plenty of safe spaces for ships to go. But if pikemen ever got the chance, they could deal a lot of damage to ships. Tody raiding John Chilleroo's economy. And John Chilleroo not very active over here, but he's more active on this side, so Tody sending Hussar this way. But where is John Chilleroo? Alright, John Chilleroo just cleared this out. And I don't know what this... Oh, I see. So this is a pit for a bombard cannon. This is a safe place for a bombard cannon to go. And attack this castle without being attacked itself. So it could actually destroy the castle. If John Chilleroo is not careful, which I think it will. But he's got Halb in his economy now. John Chilleroo does. Or Tody has Halb in his economy. He's also got a bunch of ships here. And let's take a look at villager count. John Chilleroo down to 95 villagers. Tody at 103. I don't know if John Chilleroo has kind of allowed it to leave more room for military space, although he's not pop capped. Maybe he just has to reboom. He's making some barracks here. And I think he's going to go more so into pikemen. And yeah, that castle goes down. He's got Hussar over here. He's found some gold in the back of his base, and he's taking that. This blacksmith from the beginning of the game is still here, built by Tody. John Chilleroo down to 85 villagers. And he's making Halb. Halb. Just needs Halb siege right here. Halbs with siege rams. What's this? Heavy demolition ships. Now it looks like Tody's winning. I mean, he's got water control. He's got control over the river. He's got a villager lead. Now John Chilleroo appears to have reboomed in this area. Here comes Tody with a Hussar raid. John Chilleroo has gotten at this bombard cannon. I'm not exactly sure how. It looks like Tody let it out to its own peril. Alright, John Chilleroo has regrouped and he's coming back on the water with fast fire ships. He intends to burn this down. If only John Chilleroo had picked up... Alright, he did get one relic, and there's another one here for him to get. And I think that there is another one right here. Yeah, so there's more relics to be had. Fast fire ships for John Chilleroo. And we're going to have a big naval battle here. What is this? Oh, okay, it's a cavalier. I thought he had gone into Savars. We see a lot of elite skirmisher. Oh no, heavy demo. Where's the heavy demo? Heavy demo against this would be amazing. I don't know if we're going to see it though. Looks like they had a big battle here with the halberdier finally coming out on top. There's a castle remaining, 2 castles remaining for John Chilleroo, it looks like. So he could make more elephants if he wants, but Tody will just convert them. Tody attempting to build a stable forward, but John Chilleroo is here with some halberdiers to shut it down. Couple villager pickoffs. John Chilleroo has boomed back up to 95 villagers. Both just trying to find... John Chilleroo trying to find the ideal mix here to survive Tody's onslaught. I don't really understand why Hussar Raids should do anything on this map. Like, this map is so easy to wall. Why are Hussar such a prevailing unit here? They should... This is a map where Hussar should be completely useless. And yet somehow Hussar are OP. They're killing so much stuff. Very easy to wall this. You know, wall this off, wall this off, wall this off, wall this, wall this, wall this. Get your bombard cannons, get your halberdiers, throttle them through at one point, you know, and it should be really straightforward. But, you know, maybe neither one wants to invest the stone in it. So, just lose 40 villagers instead. Todi with Hussar, a very effective Hussar raid here. Wiped out John Chilleroo's lumberjacks. But John Chilleroo has more lumberjacks over here. It's very chaotic. These guys have units everywhere. Todi has invested in some cannon galleons. And those cannon galleons are pressuring John Chilleroo's town center. John Chilleroo has cleared this area up here. And he trickled some halbs in here, but Todi has made skirmishers. Okay, there's actually another castle up here. I think John Chilleroo has been building more, fortifying the area. I think I'm actually going to increase the game speed here. I don't normally like to do that, but I have no idea how long these guys are going to slog it out like this. So we'll double the game speed and see what happens here. We might slow it down in the near future. So we just see these endless raids of both players just... And I don't even think it's Highland syndrome. Like, there's plenty of places to cross. It's just... There's lots of defense, lots of forest, lots of resources. Okay, here's a heavy demolition ship. John Chilleroo is booming up to 140 villagers now, and now he's pop-capped. So he's kind of found it in himself to fight, perhaps. Cleared that up. More and more Hussar raids. Todi maintaining control of the water in this area. He doesn't control the water down here. This belongs to John Chilleroo, but John Chilleroo does seem to control 2 of the land masses. Todi with a relic still in this monastery. We really need to see somebody roll across with rams. And Persians get siege rams too. Okay, here's a ram. It's going to attack the base of John Chilleroo's castle. John Chilleroo sends some villagers after it to stop that. It's another ram. John Chilleroo's going to have to deal with this ram as well. Oh no, John Chilleroo, don't let this ram take down the castle. Oh, he sees it. Now he's got to repair his castle a little bit. Alright, John Chilleroo's got a Hussar raid here. He dropped a castle on Todi, and he dropped some barracks. So this is the kind of the move that we were waiting for. And he's streaming Hussar over here. And he's trying to finally force Todi on the defensive. And Todi calls the GG. Wow. So, it turned into quite the grind there at the end, but I guess Todi was kind of out of places to take resources. I mean, maybe he could have taken some wood up here, but it seemed to have been contested area. And with John Chilleroo getting in on his wood line, he was finally content to just call it. But John Chilleroo just fight. Dang. You know, he did not give up. There were several times in this game where I think Todi really had a huge advantage. But he wasn't ever able to quite kill John Chilleroo. So, I thought that was a pretty good game. Let's take a look at the statistics. So, 900 kills for Toady, 911 kills for Toady, 787 deaths. Converted 13 units, largest army of 91. Had more gold collected, but John Chilleroo had more food, wood, and stone. Toady faster to the Castle Age, John Chilleroo faster to Feudal and Imp. Toady with 3 relics captured to John Chilleroo's 2. John Chilleroo with way more castles. Toady with a lot more relic gold. And John Chilleroo ultimately booming up to 155 villagers at the end. So, John Chilleroo ultimately grinding down Toady, maybe not over booming, but booming harder than he did, and Toady kind of just like, getting exhausted by it. So really fun set though. Both of these sets I think were really fun. So I'm gonna go back to the home screen. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. GG's. Thanks to everybody that hung out and commented and subscribed and all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys supporting the stream. It's very motivating for me to make more content. I'm not generally a content creator. I consider myself more of a map maker and tournament host. But nevertheless, I really appreciate you guys being here, and I hope that I will see you again soon. So thank you so much, everyone, and stay safe and take care until next time.